thank you so much for joining us today. I want to welcome everyone from Tales from the Trails. Michael, if you don't mind introducing yourself and telling the audience what company you work for and what your role is in that company.
My name is Mike Schroeder, and I work with Roundstone Insurance, and I'm the founder and president of the company.
Awesome. So I know that Roundstone Insurance offers a unique health insurance solution. Can you tell the audience kind of what sets you apart from other insurance agencies?
Yeah, we serve the middle market employer throughout the United States, and we're unique in that we actually return underwriting profit to our customers. We're a self-funded, what they call a group captive, and the advantages are we return the underwriting results back to them. So it's a very cost-effective way to fund your health insurance. And you are able to control your cost as well because we share with you what's driving your costs and solutions to hopefully contain them maybe better than you otherwise would.
Awesome. So I want to just touch base a little bit on middle market. I know that it can range from business to business. So what would you consider middle market?
So in the broad category is 25 eligible employees all the way up to 1,000.
Okay.
The center of our bullseye is about 100 to 200 employees. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So health insurance is always such a big topic. And I know that there's typically around 30 million Americans that don't really have health insurance right now. Can you speak a little bit more on the importance of health insurance and why everyone out there should be getting it?
Yeah. Well, certain health insurance is just candidly, how can you take care of yourself if you don't have the ability to go see a care provider? But for an employer, it's even more important because it really drives recruiting and it drives retention. And if you believe in culture and a healthy workforce, then your benefits, your employee benefits, and particularly your health benefits, very much need to be a strategic emphasis at your company. And we find that employers that put their employees as an asset and want to take good care of them and view them as their greatest resource, those tend to be the companies that are great candidates or customers for us.
Yeah, definitely. So I got to ask, what made you get started in health insurance? Were you always in health insurance or what led you through this path?
No, I've had a 30-year career in insurance, and it's been a winding path. It started off just broadly in insurance, and then I started being exposed to self-insurance concepts and things like workers' comp, self-insured trusts. And I then started getting into captive insurance. And I was part of a company that did so for the auto liability segment of insurance. It was very successful. And I just thought to myself, this concept of a shared risk pool, a captive where the employers had control and they retained their savings, I think it might have some application to health insurance. And so that was the idea. Let's take this concept that has predominantly been in the property and casualty segment, and let's bring it over into health insurance. And so I did that. I guess it's going on 17, 18 years ago. And I've had some good fortune in that the marketplace responded positively, in part because health insurance is so expensive and the costs keep going up. And so there's a lot of pain in the market for employers. And so they're looking for better alternatives. And we are that better alternative. It just married up a good idea with a marketplace that was looking for a good idea.
Yeah. So I want to go back a little bit to the self-funded or what you like to call captive insurance. I want you to go a little bit more into that and what really the advantages are.
So all kinds of captives, whether it's health insurance or anything, the number one thing that they bring to the table is control. So for the first time, the insureds or the employers have the ability to get information and control, whether that's their plan design or the cost containment solutions. And I'll give you an example of how important that is. During the pandemic, a lot of folks had health insurance that did not provide them with digital solutions where they could basically see a physician online or through a phone. And so they had to wait until their next renewal season in order to get that kind of resource. Whereas if you're in a self-insured solution, you have the control to say, you know what, if I don't currently have a digital healthcare delivery, and you can do so immediately. So our customers were able to adopt very quickly to that environment. And so control is number one. Number two is information. You can only control and only fix and only really realize the best if you know what's going on, what's driving your costs. And surprisingly, traditional health insurance, they don't always share where the costs are coming from. Are people buying a name brand drug? Are they not going to a primary care doctor because they're going to the emergency room all the time? The information is not available for them to fix the cost drivers. And so that's the other part of self-insurance and captives that's real important. And then lastly, you have an estimate of your cost, but if through your own efforts, your outcomes and the costs are less, instead of the insurance company keeping it as profit, when you're in a self-insured solution, you get back the profit. And historically, to put this in perspective, we've returned on average about 10% a year in the premium coverage and about 20% overall. So when you run those on a typical employer that's spending a 100 employee firm typically is spending $1.5 million a year on their health insurance, we're returning a couple $100,000 to them. That's a big deal. And so it's control, it's information, and it's cost savings. That's why folks go to the captive route.
This sounds really too good to be true. I just don't understand why everyone isn't offering insurance like this. Do you have an idea of why that is?
Yeah, that's a great question. So historically, the middle market, they viewed self-insurance as too volatile. One year the cost was good, the next year the cost was bad, and they felt that their budget or their cash flow could not handle that up and down, as opposed to a very large company who are all self-insured, but they're able to weather the ups and downs. So that was the first objection. And the other objection was, boy, this seems complicated. I have to hire a claims administrator. I have to make sure I have a good plan design and document. I need a pharmacy benefit manager. It just seems complicated for a 100, 200 employee firm. Then along comes Roundstone, and the shared risk pool eliminates that concern about volatility. And so essentially we can smooth out that year over year up and down through the type of coverage that's issued and through the shared risk, where you get money back even when you have a difficult high claim year. And then the other piece of it is we have a lot of turnkey assistance and a lot of ability to make things a little simpler. So if you want to buy the plan designs and the PBMs and the TPAs and all these things you need, if you want to buy them off the shelf from us, you can. If you want to customize it a little bit, we'll help you do that. But it's not as complicated as maybe it was 10 years ago, and it's a little more turnkey today.
Nice. So a part of our thesis is that every business and every organization has some mission they're trying to deliver. Can you explain to us what your mission statement is at Roundstone?
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. We believe the same thing, that missions, it's critical. And we have our moonshot because it's a big aspirational goal, and that is affordable quality healthcare for all. Because as we started talking, we think healthcare is critically important to everybody. And so while we only kind of chip away at that by attacking the employer market, all of our employees know that what they're doing every day, whether they're answering the phones or underwriting a case or paying a claim, that they're doing so to deliver healthcare in a quality way to another person and to another employee, much like them. And that really drives, and that experience they have and the effectiveness of how they deliver it impacts that person. And so that's our mission, that's our moonshot. We can't solve it for everybody, but we can solve it for the middle market, and that's what we're going after. So quality, affordable healthcare for all, that's our mission.
Nice. So what are you guys doing to help build those relationships with your customers? I'm sure your team has to keep up with a lot of those relationships. So what systems do you guys use to help with keeping up with all that communication?
Yeah, education is so critical. And so we have constant outreach. We have a Roundstone University. We have the ongoing blogs and newsletters. Most of that is delivered through Salesforce solutions like Pardot, but it's all about education. So we have webinars. There's just a constant messaging, so that we have an annual conference, a medical captive forum we have every year, where hundreds of people gather together and learn about the latest and greatest solutions. That's it. It's all about education, and obviously Salesforce and content management strategies like that are how we do that.
Nice. So when you were looking at different systems, what made you guys decide to go with Salesforce?
They're always improving it. There's always upgrades. There's always new little gadgets that Pardot offers us. It integrated very well with our other systems, underwriting and claims. And we just felt that it was improving and it was growing, and that's what our company was doing. It seemed like a good partner for us.
That's great. So I know that you guys have been growing your business over the last 20 years or so, but what are Roundstone's 12-month goals? Where do you guys see yourself in the next year?
Yeah, so we look at things from the number of new customers we have. And this year, our goal is just under 300 customers, new customers. We will crest over 1,000 customers this year. And so the 12 months goal is to continue that growth and continue to add hundreds of new customers each year. We have obviously longer term goals, and over the course of the next 5 years, we'd like to reach 3,000 customers and $1 billion of premium. That's how we look at things. And at the same time, make sure that we continue to deliver the service and the focus on the customer. It's not just about adding customers. It's about making sure you are able to provide a really good experience for them. And so we're growing at about a 30 to 40% clip, but we're doing so while delivering the same value we always have.
That's great. So if there's one thing that you could do to improve your industry or a need that you have, what would that be? What would that look like for the insurance?
I think like most markets, anytime you can get the consumer and the product solution closer together, it's better off. And in health insurance, the biggest problem is a lot of the service providers are not aligned with the ultimate consumer. And so everyone kind of starts pursuing their own agenda. And so we work very hard in this area. We want to be aligned with the employer and the employee, and we make decisions from the perspective of what would the employer and employee want us to do here. And because there's plenty of opportunities for us to go down a side path that's probably maybe beneficial to us, but isn't in the best interest of that employer. So alignment, and the one way to really encourage alignment is to get closer to that customer and how you deliver your product. But what's cool about it is if we're able to get better aligned with our customers, our ultimate goal of affordable healthcare is enhanced and improved by that alignment. And alignment has really become a big focus for us right now.
Nice. So if someone was watching this, how do they get in touch with someone like you or anybody on your team if they're like, hey, this sounds like the insurance we need for our business?
Yeah, if you type in Roundstone Insurance, we're certainly going to come up. You type in my name and Roundstone, we're going to come up, and there's lots of ways to reach out, either pick up the phone or send an email or whatever. But we're not invisible. We're out there on the World Wide Web.
Perfect. Awesome. Michael, thank you so much for joining us today and working so hard on educating everyone and allowing people to get that affordable health insurance. I appreciate it.
Hey, Kat, nice talking to you today.
Nice. Bye.